Life Audio.
Welcome to the Crosswalk Devotional. We're glad to have you listening with us. Today's topic is how flowers can serve as reminders to stop worrying and start trusting God with deeper faith. We'll return with the devotional after a brief message from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Bernie Dake, one of the hosts for the Salvation Army's 15-minute weekly show, Words of Life. Have you ever experienced church hurt? Were you burned so bad that you've maybe walked away from the church entirely? If this is you, please join us on Words of Life for a series that starts in July called Raised to Stay. We'll be joined by pastor and author Natalie Runyon as she sympathizes with and encourages believers to not give up on the bride of Christ.
Every Sunday, we have people showing up with hope, and we have a choice to partner in that hope or to live in the hurt. And I want to be a hope bearer. I want to be a hope dealer. I want to be the one that's waiting with my arms open. That's why I show up.
Listen on your favorite podcast store or visit salvationarmyradio.org.
Hey everybody, I'm Dale.
And I'm Tamara.
We're hosts of the Kainos Project podcast,
where we help you tackle ancient Christian truths in everyday settings.
To learn more and subscribe, go to lifeaudio.com.
Flowers and Faith, written and read by Whitney Hopler. See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:28-33 NIV. After a busy week at work and school, my family and I decided one Saturday to let our long list of chores and errands wait so we could enjoy a botanical garden together. Worries about all I had to do still crept into my mind as I walked around. So I chose a path toward some rose bushes and decided to literally stop and smell the roses. I enjoyed sniffing the fragrances of every single rose variety there. Inhaling those sweet scents felt like inhaling God's grace, because God made it possible for me to enjoy that wondrous nature experience unconditionally. I didn't have to earn the experience by completing any chores or errands. When I exhaled in between sniffing the roses, I felt like I was letting go of more and more worry each time. In this fallen world that's full of stress and uncertainty, it's easy to find ourselves consumed by worry. However, Jesus calls us to a different way of living, one marked by faith and trust in God. Jesus tells us that flowers can serve as beautiful reminders of God's care and provision for us. In both Matthew chapter 6 and Luke chapter 12, Jesus uses the example of flowers, which some translations identify as lilies, to illustrate a powerful truth about God's provision. He points out how these simple yet exquisite creations of God don't worry. Yet God makes it possible for them to bloom with beauty that surpasses even the grand clothes of King Solomon. Jesus highlights this awe-inspiring reality to remind us that if God takes such good care of plants like flowers and even grass, which live only briefly, how much more will God provide for us, his beloved children? Jesus recognizes our tendency to worry about our daily needs, what we will eat, drink, or wear. Yet, Jesus reminds us that worry doesn't bring us any closer to fulfilling our purpose in God's kingdom. When we catch ourselves worrying, that's an invitation to shift our focus and seek God, who promises to meet all of our needs. Just as the flowers of the field trust in God's care, we too can find peace of mind in knowing that God will take care of our needs. Flowers don't anxiously strive for their sustenance. They don't worry about their survival. Instead, they surrender to the rhythm of God's creation, fully relying on Him to provide what they need to flourish. Likewise, as we grow in faith and deepen our trust in God, we can experience the same freedom from anxiety. We can learn from the flower's silent testimony of trust and give our worries to God, resting assured that God will faithfully provide for us. The next time you find yourself entangled in the worries of life, give yourself the gift of a break with some flowers. Enjoy their vibrant colors, intricate designs, and delicate fragrances. Allow the beauty and simplicity of flowers to reignite your trust in God's loving care. Instead of thriving and fretting, choose to seek God, knowing that God will meet your needs so you too can bloom and thrive in life. Intersecting faith and life. As you reflect on flowers and faith, consider these questions. What are some specific worries that you need to surrender to God, trusting that He will provide for you? What practical steps can you take to release your worries to God? How can you cultivate a heart of gratitude, recognizing God's provision in both big and small situations? How can you plan to enjoy flowers regularly to remind yourself that God will help you bloom and thrive when you trust Him? Further reading. Luke 12:22 through 34. Psalm 103, 15 through 16. Isaiah 48. Hosea 14:5. Song of Solomon 2:12.
The Crosswalk Devotional is a production of Life Audio and Salem Media. If you liked what you heard today, please take a second to rate and review this podcast in your favorite podcast app so that more listeners like you can find the show. For more faith-filled, inspirational podcasts, visit us at lifeaudio.com.
Is life feeling chaotic? I get it. I'm Rachel Wojo, host of the Untangling Life podcast. Don't miss the passionate encouragement and faith-based resources you need to help you clear your head and calm your heart. As Shell says, it feels like Rachel always knows what I need to hear. She keeps it real and is so humble. Her podcast is just the cherry on top. Enjoy Untangling Life with Rachel Wojo on lifeaudio.com or your favorite podcast app now.